The moment I had dreamed of was finally here. I stood at the altar, my heart pounding in my chest, as Emily walked down the aisle in a flowing white dress. She looked breathtaking, like a vision of everything good in my life. The soft murmur of the guests quieted, and the music swelled, filling the grand hall with warmth and joy. But despite the beauty of the moment, I couldn't shake the gnawing emptiness inside me. There, in the front row, was an empty chair. The chair meant for my mother. She wasn't there. Not because she was sick. Not because she had an emergency. No, she had chosen to attend my brother Marcus's girlfriend's anniversary party instead. A lump formed in my throat, but I swallowed it down. I wouldn't let her absence ruin this day. Not today. Not when I was about to start a new chapter with the woman I loved. Still, as I stood before the love of my life, vowing to cherish her forever, I couldn't help but wonder, had I ever really been cherished by the woman who gave birth to me? I was born a year after Marcus, but from the start, it was clear that I was never really wanted. My mother suffered from postpartum depression after my birth, and instead of trying to raise me, she handed me off to my grandparents. For the first 8 years of my life, my world was filled with love and security. My grandparents, George and Eleanor, adored me. They made sure I never went to bed hungry, always encouraged me to dream big, and cheered me on for every little success. To me, they were my real parents. But then, when I turned 8, my biological parents decided it was time to take me back. I was excited at first. Finally, I would be a part of a real family, living with my mother, father, and big brother Marcus. I imagined we'd play together, share secrets, and be just like the brothers in my favorite comic books. I was wrong. Marcus hated sharing his space with me. My parents had a spare bedroom, but they insisted we share a room to bond as brothers. From day one, Marcus made it clear that I was unwelcome. If I read my comic books, he called me a baby. If I got good grades, he mocked me for being a nerd. If I played the keyboard my grandparents had given me, he told me I sounded awful. No matter what I did, he found a way to tear me down. At first, I thought maybe I was the problem. Maybe if I changed, if I stopped playing the keyboard, if I hid my comic books, if I tried to be more like him, he would finally accept me. But it didn't matter. No matter how much of myself I erased, Marcus still found reasons to belittle me. And my parents? They did nothing. My mother dismissed my complaints with a casual, "Boys will be boys." My father avoided the issue altogether. I learned, at a very young age, that in my family, Marcus would always come first. The favoritism became undeniable when I was in high school. I had worked hard, pouring everything into my studies, and was on track to receive the top student award in my class. It was a big deal, something I had dreamed of for years. I wanted my parents to be proud of me. A few days before the ceremony, my mother sat me down and said, "Marcus has a swim competition that day, so I'll be going with him. But your dad will be there, don't worry." It hurt, but at least I had my father's support. Except, when the day came, he didn't show up either. Marcus had a panic attack before his competition, and my mother called my dad in a panic. "He needs you," she had said. So my father abandoned my ceremony and rushed to Marcus's side. When I walked onto that stage to receive my medal, I scanned the audience, searching for a familiar face. There was no one. That night, when I got home, Marcus and my parents were celebrating his competition win. They hugged him, cheered for him, and told him how proud they were. No one even asked how my ceremony went. That was the moment I realized, no matter what I did, I would never be enough for them. When I met Emily in college, she became my safe haven. She was brilliant, kind, and supportive in ways my family had never been. Naturally, my mother hated her. "She's too career-focused," she would say. "You need someone more traditional, like Marcus's girlfriend." When I proposed to Emily, my parents barely reacted. My mother didn't congratulate me. My father gave me a week. That's nice. Marcus didn't even acknowledge the engagement. Still, I invited them all to the wedding. 2 months later, I got the call. My father told me that my mother wouldn't be coming. Why? I asked, my chest tightening. Marcus scheduled an anniversary. Party for his girlfriend that same day, my father said. Your mom wants to be there for him. I checked social media. Marcus and his girlfriend had just celebrated their anniversary a month ago. They had deliberately scheduled the party on my wedding day. When I confronted my mother, she laughed. Don't be so dramatic, she said. Your father will be there, that's enough. That was the last time I spoke to her. A week after the wedding, my grandparents called my mother and told her they were considering cutting her out of their will. That was when she finally started calling me nonstop, not to apologize, but to scream about the inheritance. You let them do this to me, she sobbed. I am their daughter. How could you? For the first time in my life, I felt nothing for her. Then she said something that sealed our fate forever. You ruined my life, she spat. I never wanted you. You weren't planned. I thought about giving you away. But your grandparents wouldn't allow it. Marcus was always easier. He never made me feel like a failure the way you did. I hung up, and that was it. I blocked her number, and I blocked Marcus's too. Since then, my grandparents have officially rewritten their will, leaving everything to me. My father, surprisingly, has started to reach out, not to guilt-trip me, but to apologize. I don't know if I can ever truly forgive him, but for the first time, he seems to understand the damage he allowed to happen. As for Marcus, he is furious. He accused me of manipulating our grandparents and stealing what was rightfully his. I don't care, because for the first time in my life, I am free. Emily and I are building a future together, filled with love, respect, and the kind of family I always longed for. I used to think that family was something you were born into, but now I realize family isn't about blood. Family is about the people who choose to love you every single day, and I have finally found mine. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell too. Stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.